What if planet Earth were cubic instead of spherical? Take a moment to imagine it. That smooth, curved world we know, where horizons fade into infinity, would be replaced by sharp edges, flat surfaces, and abrupt corners. It would be a reality where gravity, climate, and even life itself would have to adapt to a geometric and unpredictable stage. To understand what it would be like to live on a cubic planet, we must start with a fundamental question: how would gravity work? On a spherical world like Earth, gravity pulls equally in all directions toward the planet's center. This creates our sense of down and allows oceans, mountains, and even the atmosphere to conform to a rounded shape. At the center of each flat face of the cube, gravity would still pull directly toward the planet's core. There, the world would seem relatively normal. But as you approach the edges, something extraordinary would happen. Gravity would no longer point straight down, but at an angle tilting toward the center of the face. Walking toward an edge would feel like climbing. Now imagine the oceans. On our spherical Earth, water is held in place by uniform gravity, forming seas and oceans that cover over 70% of the surface. But on a cubic planet, water would collect at the center of each face, creating vast, square seas surrounded by dry, arid lands along the edges and corners. Speaking of temperatures, the climate on a cubic planet would be radically different from what we know. On Earth, the spherical shape allows the sun's energy to be distributed relatively evenly, with equatorial regions receiving more heat and the poles remaining cold. But on a cube, each face would act as a small, isolated world. The faces directly facing the sun would be. Now pause and imagine what it would be like to live in such a fragmented world. Civilizations would likely concentrate at the center of each face, where conditions would be most stable. The edges and corners would become extreme territories, perhaps explored only by adventurers or determined settlers. Traveling between the cube's faces would be a surreal experience. To cross an edge, life on a cubic planet would also face unique evolutionary challenges. Plants and animals living at the centers of the faces might resemble those we know, adapted to moderate conditions, but at the edges, where gravity tilts and the climate is more extreme, life forms would need to be incredibly resilient and versatile. Perhaps we'd see trees with tilted trunks growing toward the local gravity, or animals. And what about human history? Our understanding of the world has always been shaped by the geography and the physics of a spherical Earth. But on a cubic planet, our legends, sciences, and cultures might have taken different paths. Perhaps we'd have myths about the corners of the world, mystical places where gravity goes mad and time itself seems to distort. Our ancient, yet as strange as it sounds, the cubic Earth isn't just a what if. There's something almost poetic about this imaginative exploration because it forces us to think about how our world truly works. The spherical shape of Earth isn't just a coincidence, it's the result of billions of years of gravitational forces molding a planet into balance. But by imagining an in the end, perhaps that's the true lesson of a cubic world. It challenges us to look at our own planet with fresh eyes, to appreciate the delicate perfection of its shape and the conditions that have made life possible. Because even though Earth isn't a cube, it's still a miracle of symmetry and diversity, a spherical stage where the universe's story unfolds in smooth curves and infinite horizons.